We're going to do question 9, and question 9 says find the derivative of these functions. Now, for these questions, we're going to use a shortcut method, and we want to make sure that it's set up and ready to go. So the first one is set up. There's nothing we need to move around or change to make it a little bit easier. So the first one is going to be the derivative of x to the 9. The 9 goes to the front, subtract 1, you get 8. The derivative of the second one, 5 times 7 is 35. Subtract 1, 5 minus 1 is 4. And then the next one, minus 2 times 3 is 6. 2 minus 1 is x. And then the derivative of 10 is 0. So that was pretty straightforward. Double, triple check your work. Make sure everything makes sense. Make sure it's correct. And we'll go to the next one. Now, the next one doesn't need to be rewritten or anything, but just be careful. There's some fractions and decimals in there. So when I take the derivative of x to the 1/9, the 1/9 goes to the front, x. Now, 1/9 minus 1 is negative 8 over 9. Now, if that's a little troublesome for you, remember you have a calculator. If you go to the home screen, second mode, I'd put fractions in parentheses, 1 divided by 9, close parenthesis, subtract 1, you get negative 0.88888. If you hit math, number 1 for fraction, that will change it to a fraction, negative 8 over 9. So you have that calculator to help you there. Then we have plus 0.5 times 7, we can call that 3.5, x. 0.5 minus 1 is negative 0.5. Again, if you need your calculator, use your calculator. 0.5 minus 1 is negative 0.5. And then the next one we have minus 2/3 times 3 is 2. But again, if you're having issues with fractions, which hopefully you're not, but parenthesis 2/3 times 3, that gives you 2. And then x, 3 minus 1 is 2. Then we'll kind of continue here. Minus 0.75 times 2 is 1.5, but if you need to work that out, 0.75 times 2 is 1.5. X, and then the derivative of negative 10 is 0. So actually, let's put this over here so you can see it all the way side by side. So your final answer could be written like that. Or what I like to do is anytime I have a negative exponent, make it positive. So this would be 1 over 9, move that x to the negative 8 down, becomes positive 8 over 9, plus 3.5, move that x negative 0.5 to the bottom, becomes positive 0.5, and then you have minus 2x squared minus 1.5x. Okay. Now, the last two, I would go ahead and I would rewrite them first. We want to make it easier for us to take the derivative. So what do I mean by that? So when I rewrite, notice I'm not taking the derivative, there's no prime here. What I like is the number in front, 4 over 5, x to the 10th. That one's ready to go. The second one has the x in the denominator, so I'm going to move that up. So that's going to be 7x to the negative 5. So when you move it up, it changes sign. Plus 0.3, see the x squared is on the bottom. When it goes up, it will be x to the negative 2, and that's just a minus 1/4. So rewrite first, then we're going to take the derivative. So when we take the derivative, 10 times 4/5 would be 40 over 5, which is 8 x to the 9. Again, if you need to use your calculator, use your calculator. Parenthesis 4/5 times 10. That gives you 8. Okay? And then 7 times negative 5 is negative 35x. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. Then we're going to do positive, negative, negative. 2 times 0.3 is 0.6. X to the negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And the derivative of negative 1/4 is 0. Derivative any number is 0. And I would rewrite that, make it a little bit nicer. All the negative exponents I'm going to move. So that's 8 x to the 9 minus 35, x to the negative 6, I'm going to move to the bottom, becomes positive 6, and minus 0.6, x to the negative 3, I'm going to move to the bottom, becomes positive 3. Okay. And then our last one, again, we want to go ahead and rewrite it. So when I rewrite, there's no prime, it's just rewriting it. Instead of square root of x, that's x to the 1/2, so that's 4x to the 1/2. plus, this is x 1 over x to the 1. When it goes up, it's x to the negative 1 minus x minus 1. Then when we take the derivative, half of 4 is 2x, 1 half minus 1 is negative a half. Again, use your calculator if you're having issues. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1x. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. This is negative 1x, so the derivative would be negative 1. And the derivative of negative 1 is 0. So when you take the derivative, you have this, but I'm going to move those negative exponents down. So that would be 2 over x to the 1 half minus 1 over x squared minus 1 would be your final answer for number 9.